covered by these big stone blocks, where they did some researches, and this is double stronger than the newest cement which they are using now. And it's definitely a kind of human-made stone. That's one point. If it's covered, was it a normal mountain, let's say normal mountain, and then covered with stone blocks? That we don't know, but we know that there is a tunnel system inside. There is a tunnel system inside. And there is in the center is one room, and 4 tunnel connections are going away, and in the room we found bones and material. So, call it pyramid or not, it has a pyramid shape.
Structure, yeah.
They found stone blocks on some parts, which is man-made. So
it is, yeah. I'm really surprised. I mean,
and I had just yesterday with a mathematician, with a good friend of mine. He's a genius mathematician, really genius in Germany. And when we did the scan and he saw the tunnel system, he already calculated mathematically that this is creating energy, and that's why they could already make the approval of a strong energy going up straight on top of this pyramid. So, and the next thing is, I was 2 times already in the labyrinth, which they found outside, about 2.5 kilometers from the pyramid. But we could then also show that one tunnel is connected with the labyrinth, directly. And the labyrinth itself is for me one of the most strangest things. Because we were inside, we checked everything, and there is no radiation, zero. Completely zero radiation. There is no animals, there are no animals inside, nothing. But there is more than over 40 times more negative ions than in a good room. So that means it's and they found these big stones, which they thought stones, but then they did material check, and it is ceramic. That means man-made ceramics, big blocks, and there is some energy connection with underground. And then they did very specialists from Finland, sound experts. They did recordings inside the pyramid, and the sound, which we cannot hear, but they made it hearable, and this is a very strange sound, very strange. It sounds like there is an engine running, something. And the question is, first of all, who was doing this labyrinth? Second, and for me the most incredible thing is, who filled it completely again? I mean, if you have a secret, you feel and check out, is this a really strange human connected mountain? Let's say, always call it mountain, because as soon as you say pyramid, everybody are stupid. Stupid.
Use these words, that's a problem. Those words, pyramid. Are these tunnels or systems in any way connected with north, south, east, west?
It's spiral form.
Spiral form.
That's why the mathematician...
Like vortex.
That's what the mathematician already calculated. He said that creates energy. And then they did the measurement on top, and there is energy straight going up. So still, I think when they can go inside and they really, and I'm sure they find something inside in the room, of course, because my friend detected bones and gold.
Gold.
That means artifact. So if they find this, who can say this is not human-made pyramid? But to fill this labyrinth for me, there must be something inside which is so important, that they completely filled it up.
But still left a kind of sign. If someone dig it out,
the stone walls. You always see here because the filling material is completely the same with the natural material. Only much weaker. So that is, you can just make by hand and you know, here is stop. It's more hard. So you just can take it out. So this work, how did they do it? And why did they do it?
Why did they do it? No, but you know, this why is always a provocation. I mean, with our way of thinking, our own mind, they cannot solve it. It's amazing. Nobody knows this is Slovenia, I think. Because officially, those pyramids are mountains. In Bosnia does not exist. They are normal mountains.
Yeah, because how should pyramids exist in Bosnia? In Europe?
Only Egypt.
Yes. No, not only Egypt. Worldwide. We found in Crete a pyramid which looks exactly like, not exactly, but it's also, if you look at it, it's a mountain. But the earth on this mountain is different with the earth all around. So we did a scan and it was incredible.
It's so fun.
That technology. We have already places all over the world which you just won't believe. But if you say there is something, people say, oh yeah, how do you know?
I know.
How do you know? And we won't talk about the technology,
no?
Because then they chase you.
This is why one of the questions, are you afraid for yourself?
No.
I mean, are you so big provocation for the others, so you're not afraid?
No.
Okay.
There is somebody watching. No problem. The moment you are afraid, you cannot work.
Structure with the tunnel and a lot of stones, dolmen, it's a dolmen.
Karnak.
Okay. At the end of the tunnel, you have a big plate, like 3 meters high of height and such granite, so a bit like this, with some carvings. On one side of this plate, with on the string, which makes, you have one direction and here another direction. That's first trick. The second trick, the same, this granite plate has a radiation of uranium, weak, but it has. And they said that if someone has kind of illness problem, it could be it could cure him. Ploex, it's called. It's 24 meter length. So it's not a way. Superb. Okay, let's start on something. So my magazine is mainly is the biggest one, the most important one on the market, but the readers are mainly women, older women, families. So the family magazine. So let's go to make some story which still will be believable to them, but still enough provocation that everyone would be just quiet. So what or which artifact which you found will you put out? What do you think? What do you suggest, propose? What kind of story from you? Because I think that you know the most.
This was 2001, the exhibition in Vienna we did.
2001?
Yeah. And we showed 470 artifacts from different countries.
And what people say? Were they surprised? Shocked?
Yeah.
Super. I like it.
But of course the scientists against. No?
Are against.
Of course.
Of course. Let's see. will write a book. I mean, I found a lot of things on the internet about you, but I wanted you say what to put out.
Every artifact has some history.
A story. Yeah.
Everyone. And sometimes you think this is not so interesting, but exactly this one is interesting. It could tell you more than some others. And that's why I was going more into the artifacts and not on the constructions. Because everybody is researching on the constructions. The pyramids in Mexico, in South America, everywhere, and megalith blocks and stones.
Big things.
Yeah, but I think the little things can tell you more about the history, because people showed the daily life or what was for them strange or mysterious. So you can find more answers, I think, on the artifacts instead of the buildings. The buildings can also give you some details like geometrical, mathematical, and location-wise, but artifacts are telling more stories.
It's true.
Yeah.
They tell you about the level of... But for a second, this is wrong. I mean, till that moment, I was believing the official history. Then I immediately knew something is really wrong. Do you know our lady, Fani Okic from Slovenia?
No.
She wrote and Boris Mužević. They wrote amazing books, but unfortunately, no one in Slovenia believed in them. But Fani Okic, this lady, 94, I think she has now. Crazy, superb. Okay, it's not like you, because she cannot travel so much around. She doesn't search so much for artifacts. She just entered in some museum and found some hidden what is somewhere. This is enough for her, and because she's a woman, she gets another kind of thinking. And it's really nice. Her books are amazing, but nobody wanted to translate them in English language or whatever, so they are forgotten.
This is the problem, that many informations through the different languages are gonna be missing. There was one man in Germany who was also 96 years, and when I got in contact with him, he was about 91 years, and he was perfect in 40 languages. 40. And when I showed him pieces from unknown writings we found in many places, but it was always the same writing. In Ecuador, in Colombia, in United States, in France, in Italy, in Malta, in Turkmenistan, and in Australia. And it was always the same writing. And in each country, this is not accepted as official archaeological finding. In France, they found it already in 1924 in Glosel. Over 3,000 pieces, a farmer when he was working on his ground. So age dating was too old to believe. So still now this collection is not accepted as officially archaeological finding. They say the farmer might have made it. The farmer makes 3,000 pieces, wonderful carvings and so on. I mean, that's stupid.
I know.
It's just stupid. And then I sent him pictures, and he did already work on the United States stones, and he could translate this writing. He was the only one. And now there is an Italian professor who is also able to translate this writing. And Schildmann was his name, Professor Schildmann. He said he called this writing pre-Sanskrit, because he said older than the oldest writing. And why the science don't accept this writing? Because they say it is a mixture of runes, a mixture of Greek. So that means, and it has some of the symbols have a similarity with the Easter Island writing and with Hindus Valley writing, Mohenjo-daro. And for me, this is the approval that there was a global civilization. Because who would make fakes? 1924. If you read the Mahabharata, they is described exactly like an atom explosion. That the food was poisoned, that the birds were falling down from the trees, that the hair went away and the nails getting longer. This is exactly like in Hiroshima happened. So why everything must be alien? And now Stephen Greer, the American, he is now he made a movie now, and using a big part, a small mummy from Chile. We had it already 2005 in our exhibition. He is saying, first time worldwide we show an alien. Bullshit. We did 2005 research with 2 specialists. What they said, it's not a fetus, it's not an unborn child, definitely. And the anatomical professor said, I think, for me, it is a child in the age between 4 and 6 years. And a few months before we found this, they found, this one is 14 centimeters. And they found in Russia one near Chelyabinsk, which was 28 centimeters. So, if the Chilean is a child with 4 to 6 years, the Russian one is double size, is an adult. And this one in Russian was living. And the old wife in the mountainside found it. And this wife was devil. She was not very good in mind. And she took it home, and this being was living with her. And she explained that this being was only taking sugar water, no food, only sugar water. So one day she was shopping in the village, and she broke down, and they brought her to the hospital. And when she woke up, she wanted to go home, and they said, no, you have to stay here. Then she started complaining, I have to go home to take care of my baby. She said, of my baby. So and she was crying and things, so they brought her to psychiatric hospital. And one nurse there, after a few days, she thought something must be behind the baby. So she called the police. They went there, they opened the door, and was dead. It was living.
Still living?
Yeah. No, was dead.
But before it was dead.
Now it works, look. Hallo, Herr Simada. Ich bin gerade...
In Slovenia we have also the old stories about the elves.
I got a report in Ecuador from researchers. They went to a place in the mountains where you have petrified trees. That means a very, very, very old place. And they saw little people running around. And they found some working tires there. They did it already before him, the research, if there might have been contact with aliens, but they did not say there was contact with aliens. They were questioning, and this is serious. But you cannot just say everything is alien. This is nonsense. Of course there are UFO sightings and everything, but what is it? Nobody knows. So better research our own history, because before saying everything was brought by aliens, our people were very clever. They had more knowledge than we do until today. If you look some of these constructions in Peru or in Japan under the water, the Yonaguni, I mean, do it today.
No, we cannot.
It's impossible. Or in Africa, the stone, the lady in stone, 140 meters in rock. 140 meters. And this is very hard rock. And the face is not African.
Yeah,
Definitely not African. And we had also experts checking the photo, making the measurement. Definitely fits a perfect sky. And they think either from Asian region or from South America. And I think from South America, because that's the closest. And there are the stories that South America, Africa was together
connected.
There is still so much we don't know, but the easiest explanation is aliens. in the program Ancient Aliens in History Channel. Did you see this program?
No, I don't look at it.
No,
never.
Because all serious researchers, they are now just getting popular. They are sitting now there and saying, it must have been aliens. And I just say, are you sure? Prove it.
Prove it,
You cannot say something which you cannot prove, because that opens the other side to attack you.
But it's this way, and also this way to move the thinking of ordinary people away. I mean, this is the main trick. How to push it away. But on the other side, we have Sumerian tablets. That very fine explain also this presence of aliens.
You talk about Sitchin.
Sitchin,
Yeah, there are many experts, really experts on the Sumerian writings, and they talk against him. So, is he right? Is the translation what he say he can do better than the translation which really writing experts are saying? That's the question.
What about the...
And what he said, with his technology, he would need one piece of this mummy. And he also and myself, we said that would not be worthwhile to break it, because it's a mummy. So you should not just break it. What Gear did, Stephen Gear, this being had a hole here. They took some material outside.
I saw,
But still the professor of the university does not say it's alien DNA. What he found is the DNA of the mother's DNA from a Chilean indigenous. So now, you see, you have to be careful with just saying we found worldwide the first alien. No. Just say what you can prove. And if I don't know something and people ask me, I say, I don't know. Because they always ask me, do you think there were aliens here? I said, I don't know. Some pieces look very strange, like the Mexican pieces, with UFOs and wormholes and everything. Nassim Haramein, he did already age dating on 2 masks. Because out of these 3,000 pieces a farmer found, they are from so small until so big, 3,000 pieces. And there are some masks with mosaic stone inlay. And these were glued with a natural material. So they could took from the organic material, it's organic glue. So they took material and did age dating. 8,000 and 14,000 years. For me, it would be But again, here is the question: were we already better than we are now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
One question. Or were there really aliens from extraterrestrials from another star here? That's a question.
That's a question. Because our guy, Mr. Mujic, his way of thinking is that we are or genetically manipulated from these aliens, or they just visit us and they live. Mohoric, that's another one. Okay, it's his way of, yeah. Or maybe they succeed to lift in few years the thinking and knowledge on the earth really quickly, those aliens. So there's one,
which is knowledge from the Sumerian tablets.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
From Mohoric.
On to ZLAGANA.
Yeah.
Okay. And he can read, he can translate Sumerian tablets. No. You see, always stories arrive here, and then Sumerian tablets. I said, can you translate? Did you make the translation? No. But he made it.
Yeah.
Did you check if all what he writes is correct? And there are really top specialists in translation of the Sumerian tablets, and they definitely do not confirm with the translations of CG. And he was not studying the translation of the Sumerian tablets.
I have information that
he is dead, so he cannot. I don't want to attack him.
He's just go to toilet.
Yeah, but
I have information that there are two kinds of Sumerian tablets. One is fake. So Sitchin investigates fake one. Because
I don't believe this story. Why? To do fake tablets, you have to be an expert in translation. And if you are an expert on translation, you will not have time to make fake tablets, because you would more interested to translate many plates, because in England there are thousands still not translated. So I think if I would be an expert on translation, I'm more interested in translation than making fakes. To make fakes, you must be expert.
Maybe someone is expert. It's my opinion, because I believe our civilization is founded on a fear, and this theory that alien came and manipulated the Inca people and so on.
But this was a good point. This was a good point. You said the DNA manipulated. Okay, but who manipulated the DNA? Our people now are also starting manipulation with the DNA. They make the cloning, for example, and they study more and more the DNA. You have to check William Brown. He is biophysicist, and he was working in the university in Honolulu, and he's a genius. He's not old, he's a young guy. And about 2 years ago, he sent me an email that he watched my research and he likes it so much, and he sent me his newest study. And the newest study was that it approves 100% that human does not come from the apes. Impossible. He can prove it. So I contacted my friend in South Africa, Michael Dellinger, and he invited him to a conference, and he had standing ovation, and people were just shocked about his research. And then he did an interview on internet radio in Canada, and then the university asked him to leave the university. Because from the computer and just typing down what I know, because that's a stop of researching, and I don't like. I always say when I'm 75 maybe, and I don't want to travel, then I write a book. No. I have no, this is not my work. I prefer to be active. No? This was my work. I earned money and so. That's the cultural exhibitions. I did more than 28 cultural exhibitions from Austria to Japan. This was the glory of the House of Habsburg, with all the artifacts from the best museums in Austria. Or this was about the, but here this is also connected with Slovenia, because this was the Habsburg Empire. Or the Biedermeier time, or Gustav Klimt, and Rubens, and many things, 28, And then I started with this exhibition. And if I would have continued this work, I would have a fine life now, maybe already somewhere on holiday, but with this one, really...
But I believe this one is very important, because because a new paradigm in our perception, there is because of our for our surviving. We have to make shift.
That's what I also say. Why don't we learn from the past?
Yes.
And Röhrig, I don't know if you know Röhrig, a Russian, very interesting person. He was many times in Tibet. And Röhrig had one slogan, which was, if you don't know about your past, you cannot talk about your future. And I like it very much.
That's the guy. Okay, now I know.
Yeah. And if we study more, what happened? What happened with the high civilization which lived already on Earth? Why did they disappear? Global impact, global catastrophe, or a war. If we learn, or did they do the same mistakes like we do? We are fishing the sea, there are soon no more fish. We are poisoning the food with Monsanto.
Yeah. Oh, I had a lot of.
I mean, we don't know yet what happens with if we eat, if our children eat this food.
They don't know. Everyone just say it's poison. It's poison. It's poison.
Yeah.
Everyone in interviews.
Yeah.
But we still eat. I mean, it's still there in the shops,
It's still there. It's getting powerful and more powerful.
Yes. Yesterday I put out 2 articles. A new one.
Yeah.
It's more and more powerful.
I mean, we are using the cell phones.
Yeah.
What happens? The children already, each one they talk in Central America, everywhere in Asia. The Chinese, they destroy their own country.
Yes.
They don't care, because they get billions, and the people, nobody cares. But I have a granddaughter now with 2.5 years, and I think about her life, not about mine. Maybe I'm 64, so maybe 20 years, and then I'm gone. But the next generation, that's what we have to think about it. No?
Okay, sure, super.
We had a good life. We had a good life until now, without war, everything.
Yeah.
But
for how much? 50 years?
No more.
No more. Okay, more. Sorry.
70 years.
Nah.
Sure. 45 was the last war.
Sorry.
Oh no, you had. Oh.
Hey guys.
Oh.
It's 6 years a lot, I couldn't believe it. 6 years we still
No, we here.
Yeah.
But now they also try that we lose our neutrality with the European community.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I know.
I hate it.
I know. Yesterday I found one shocking story. It will be now going out. I know.
Yeah.
It's the same story as in USA. You know, I forgot that the United States of America basically are or is a group of 52 countries.
Yeah.
But we always take as granted just the federal government of them. And we think, they are they are the president, whatever, of America.
Yeah.
And then one friend of me from Oregon, with just simple discussion, he succeeded to make some hole in my mind, you know. He said, they're supposed to be independent. So we in Europe, we forget that they are, basically, they're supposed to be independent. Supposed. And I know. So, and now we're getting the same story in Europe.
Definitely. That's what they were planning. That's what they were planning. But look, in United States, still they have the same language.
At least this, I know,
But, and approximately the same mentality. But think about Europe. In Finland and in Portugal.
It's so big difference.
Italy and Austria. And Germany. The mentality, the thinking, the culture is different. So you cannot just make it, you put it all in one pot and it works. How?
Maybe this is okay. Maybe this is a safe place for us, you know. I mean, maybe this would be good for us because we are so different. It's
not good. It's not good.
I know it's not good.
Because you should keep your own tradition.
Yes, in culture.
Yeah.
So this makes Europe Europe.
Yeah. And why war always started?
Yes, I know.
This was the problem, not the difference.
Can you do a shot when you are doing this? but more of you, I mean, with this expression as before.
No.
Let's try. Not so serious. No. Okay, try to explain me once again. Okay?
That's all like 30 euro.
Not.
You say?
Just for one shop,
If you buy the whole like before, it's 3-4 times more.
Yeah. I still remember 2007 in Greece.
Keep your own money.
We don't. We have the euro.
You have already.
Yeah.
No. 4 or 5 years.
You know,
and then
the same story.
Why we have so big problems?
If you go shopping now, before it was 10 something, and now it's only 2 or 3 something euro. But the difference, people forget. Simple way. Then you can go up with the price and people don't recognize. Why? If the euro goes back, we have our own money back.
But it won't be so easy. That's the problem. You know? So this.
We are net payer. Germany is net payer. So we say, what happens with our money? You get it back. End of the year, if you check how much you paid, how much came back, boom. No. And there is a big discussion now in Austria because the politicians were under pressure from the farmers. They wanted that all the old traditional vegetables, fruits, corn, everything disappeared, and then only Monsanto would be the big guy.
Yesterday in the evening I wrote an article about this, really strong one, because I could not believe, you know, and when I was asking our minister yesterday, Minister for Agriculture, I don't know, I asked my colleagues, no, but, so, they really don't
your
know
people
nothing.
Don't know.
No.
You see? Then they have a meeting,
crazy.
a nice dinner in Brussels, and next day we say, yes, we can do that.
And they answer me, no, on Monday or 6th of May, we will have just discussion.
Yeah.
But how come? I said, if the paper is 2 years out now, you're supposed to have a final solutions on that Monday.
Yeah.
No, you think so? I was shocked.
Your minister.
Yes.
Oh, holy smoke.
I called the minister and 3 of his secretaries directly on the phone because I want a immediate answer.
They don't know.
No. Seriously, they don't know.
Yeah. And this is because the few people get paid by Monsanto, and in the parliament they make friendship and they say, look, this is much better, we have to do that, and so.
It's really luck that you Austrians, you get so high up. Just because of Austria, now this story is coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Our
because
people
of Austria.
got very hot.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Because we have traditional apples and fruits and everything which survive our climate. Who knows the Monsanto shit if there is really hard climate, if it survives. And in the past, Austria was possible of
self-dependence.
In food. Now no more.
I know.
Because they pay the farmers, and after 15 minutes my name was called. I said, wow, what's happened? And I went there, and one staff said I had to go with. In one room like this, there was one scanner, my luggage and the carton box.
Yeah. What's this?
And 15 military police with weapons around my luggage. And Interpol officer said, is this your luggage? I said, yes. He said, what is inside the carton box? I said, water from Ecuador. He said, open it. And I did not pack it. And I thought, shit. If someone was putting me some cocaine or something inside 20 years, I thought, that's it. Now they get you.
A simple trick, yeah.
And I was opening the box and nervous, believe me. And I took out 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 10 bottles, nothing inside. I said, water from Ecuador. He said, put it back. I put it back. He brought the box to the scanner and scanned it 3 times, but I couldn't see, no? So he came back, he made a telephone call. He said, you wait. I said, what's happening?
Because it shows some...
No. Then a doctor came with the injection, and he took sample water. And I thought, shit, they put some cocaine in the water. Because never ever I touched this stuff. But this is a simple trick to put you to jail. Because you cannot prove this is your luggage. I agreed. Yeah, this is my luggage. So, this is your stuff. You go. How many times happened?
A lot.
So, 30 minutes. But you have to be there already 3 hours before, no? Otherwise. But I was nervous, no? And then 30 minutes later, doctor came, discussion with the Interpol. He took again the box and scanned again. And suddenly he said, you can go. And I was sitting, I said, where can I smoke? He said, non-smoker. I said, okay.
So, what was about the water?
Wait. Sorry. We went to Bogota. And I told my friend, oh shit, now we have the same problem. But I don't know why. So we arrived, nothing. 2 days later, departure, I said, let's be there 3 hours before. Because if we have the same problem, nothing. In Vienna airport, I went out, nothing to declare, left side, right side, private policeman, please come with us. So I went with the policeman to the scanning room, and they said, where are you coming from? I said, from Ecuador. They said, what are you doing there? I said, I was researching for an exhibition. What kind of exhibition? I said, I did 2001 an exhibition, Unsolved Mysteries in Vienna. The second policeman said, oh, you were the organizer? I said, your wife? He said, I was with my wife 2 times there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Did you find something? I said, yeah, I have. That's why they didn't know what is inside, because they didn't see anything.
That's so big shock.
Ah, well, I was nervous. Do I have water here? Yeah.
And what about 7 meters, 0.6?
This is from Ecuador. A friend of mine imported a few years ago, long time ago. This water was 2004. It was filled.
So
2004. We checked it last year in Fresenius institution. Clean. They didn't believe that it's so old. Because if you have a normal water in a plastic bottle, 9 years, drink it. Drink it. This one, you can, if you like, you can have a test.
Can I?
If you trust.
You are fully just
колоидно сърво, що кардела е при нас теми.
Да, другая, это проверить
Я може бути нано, не?
Ja, dan zit ook die po internetu kupiš i...
Ja.
Wait. Yeah. What was it? We are also using home to drink colored silver.
One question about the gold. Jan, yeah, colleague. Someone in Slovenia, very smart, very brainy man in Maribor, that we were discussing about Holy Grail. Holy Grail.
Yeah, that was crazy good idea. Yeah.
Где ти това? Не даде какво отбаваш. Не даде, ресно.
I don't know nothing. I was there.
Story about the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Here one idea is this one. Holy Grail is not something nothing material, but it's knowledge. It's the idea of the gold, Как я рекал, как он знаком?
Это правильно.
Idea of the gold that brings you immortality.
Чист мали кошки.
The white powder.
Yeah.
That you are right.
Yeah.
You're right. The Holy Grail, there are so many possibilities. Again, I also say, you cannot look what they found there. Exactly where the well is. They found, while gold digging in 1984, they found in a tunnel about 350 artifacts, which most of them do not belong to any known pre-Columbian culture. And the most intriguing is the world stone map. Around the stone, so, and here is the Bay of Guayaquil, and there you have an inlay coming up a little bit, and a round point, and this is exactly where this water is. And exactly there, the 350 pieces were found, and many of the pieces are more Asia, Middle East, this area, but not South America. So that means, first of all, this map must be older than 10,000 years, because you have Atlantis, and you have in where now is Japan Islands and Taiwan, there is one long continent. And this is exactly like Kimura, the undersea geologist, with his researches. He says he wrote the book, The Lost Continents Move. With his research, he said, from northern Japan until far down to Taiwan, there was one long continent. And it's exactly as he is explaining, it is on this world map stone. And the next one is, there you have one big cup and 12 little cups. Here you have a perfect star constellation. The Pleiades, Orion, the belt of Orion, everything. Inlay, perfect done. And if you put, and it's light colors, but if you put ultraviolet light on it, very strong the colors. And inside this cup, it's completely magnetical. Outside,
no,
little bit, but not. Only in the triangle in the pyramid style, in the triangle exactly here. And every geologist tells me that's impossible, because if this stone material, this like a jade, if there is iron inside, it must be magnetical from both sides. It's impossible from one side and one side not. It's impossible. It's possible. And the numbers on the little cups are different with the Mayan, but very similar. And every cup is handmade, you can see. And every cup is a little bit different in size. But we filled up all 12 little cups very plain. And then we were put in the water very carefully into the big one, and the big one is plain full. How did they make it? I mean, fantastic. But now you have one big cup and you have 12 cups, 13. Then you have here this stone. This is broken here. It was a heart form, and exactly in the middle the color changes from brown to black. And when you see this picture on screen, and I give you the picture, every of my friends who looked at it on big screen, he said, "Wow, it looks like the Shroud of Turin."
Oh, because they still believe that around the blade supposed to be some special water.
So, I mean, but these artifacts are just incredible. There is a cobra, also, it's all from the same place, with 33 and 7. The 7 chakras and the 33. Or this is, you can lay your head inside, or you even can put this on your shoulders. It's granite, and the inlays here are exactly the acupuncture points on the head. So what civilization was it? It's granite, also with wonderful inlays. And this is Kundalini. Kundalini is Asia. It has nothing within that the sexual energy is going like a snake on the back up to the third eye.
And you have this book in English?
I can send you the translation, the English translation. We did it.
The book does not exist?
No.
Okay, then I'll buy it in German.
No, you get this, and I give you this anyway, and I send you by mail the translation. Only of the art. We did only the translation of the artifact, so that you know what is what picture and so on.
Can I put also later on the internet the others, the public?
Which ones?
This translation or exists on the internet?
All to the internet, because we have to, when we did this catalog, I didn't know too much already. So in the last 11 years, we know now many more explanations, so I don't want that the old text are distributed, because we know more now. And we did the exhibition planning, we started 3 years before, And 1.5 years we selected only 356 artifacts which are in museums. And then a museum director, Austrian museum director, a friend of mine, because we went several times to Japan, he wrote on his museum paper to all his colleagues worldwide for lending these artifacts. From 656 requests, how many do you think we got? Usually, usually if the colleague is asking the colleague, you have a percentage of
50.
90.
90?
Yeah.
So high.
On
normal artwork.
Normal artwork. You know how many we got?
5. What?
Then it was 1.5 years before the exhibition, and I already signed the contract for the lending, for the rental of the exhibition hall. So all my friends told me, you better pay the penalty because this is impossible. I say, impossible? Now we have still 1.5 years. And then we started telephone, traveling, everything. And was vegetarian before. And then the business went down. And she went bankrupt. And now there's no filling, no nothing. But a friend of mine, the owner of these artifacts, there are 2 wells. And he has now the 2nd well completely. So to go there and to stay there a week, you are just incredible. And you know why I was never tired? Because 3 months before the exhibition opening, the most busy time, the last 3 months, I had this artifact. This is only the replica, perfect. A Croatian, a Slovenian artifact artist made it.
Yes.
Yeah. I give you the name. He's now. No. He was many years. He was many years staying in Vienna, and he was doing some works in this exhibition, some replicas, and he did the perfect replica. The original looks exactly like this one.
Because it has kind of energy.
Because it's natural material, calc, because here a little bit broken, and specialists did measurement. This has 25% energy of the original. And the original I had in a wood box next to my desk in the office, 3 months. So one day, about a month before the exhibition, one lady called me. She said, may I visit you because I heard about your exhibition, and if you have photos, I can make the measurement of the energy. So she came and she checked some photos and said, very much energy, very interesting. And I didn't, at that time I didn't believe in this. I thought, okay, again the lady, she knows the energy, because I never feel something.
I do.
I never feel something, and I asked several times shamans and people, and they told me this is the protection, my protection, because I could not handle with so many artifacts if I get all this energy. That's why I don't feel energy. No? But somehow it must affect my body, because it was, the box was 3 months next to my desk. So when this lady, I thought, now I check this lady. I said, can you also feel energy through wood? No? No. Can you also feel energy on the original? Because it was in the box. She said, yes, of course. I can feel it. So, okay, I put the box. She was sitting here, and I put the box right here, and she put her scale on, and she went with the pendulum over the box, and she said, what do you have inside here? I said, a stone plate. Why? She said, can I see? I said, yeah. I opened the box and I took it out and I gave it to her, and she jumped back with the chair for 2 meters. She said, "Wow!"
Italian fascists.
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia, in Ethiopia.
Yeah, the Italians in Ethiopia before Second World War.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when,
Yeah, they occupied.
so there's a story?
Yeah, there's a story that they were looking for the box of
No, from the Bible.
From the Bible.
The box.
The Ark of Covenant.
Yes. Do you know the story?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No? The story of the Italian, not?
No. Graham Hancock.
Yeah? He was researching in his book, he was writing that he thinks that it is there.
But the event with the fascists, it was documented, but I have looking for it, but never find. So there's a story, something like that. Italians were with equipment, military, so tanks and guns and so on. Ethiopians were with
arrows. Yeah.
Yes. But they took out this box. This box.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of Italians that were completely crushed, completely dead. About, I don't know.
Is this real?
Graham Hancock said.
Maybe he watched Indiana Jones.
No. I mean, that artifact, you know, it has a history.
Yeah. Could be. I don't know about that story.
So,
But I can ask Adriano Forgione. He's the publisher of Hera magazine in Italy. He knows all these kind of stories. I will ask him what he thinks about that. Yeah. Because approval about many things I got.
well, Graham Hancock was there. Where is the place that holds this box?
No, but he couldn't see it. He was not allowed to go in. Nobody is ever allowed to go in.
No.
So,
Nobody?
no.
No.
Nobody is allowed to go in.
No.
So,
А кто напустил?
the big question still is,
Стражари са там.
it's a monastery,
Monastery.
and it's
Chapel,
with
actually.
fence, chapel with
Chapel.
fence around, and there are guards,
Yes.
and nobody is allowed. Even he was not allowed to go in. No. Nobody ever is. That's why the question is it really inside there?
But if so many Italians were dead there, it has to be somewhere documented.
Of course, must
Must
be.
be.
Yeah.
About, I don't know.
So I try to find out this.
300 or 400.
I-
400 dead Italians. That's lots of.
There would be a documentation about it, definitely.
Yes.
Everybody was. Hitler also was searching with Himmler, with
Himmler.
Otto Rahn, the SS archaeologist.
Yes.
He went many times to Rennes-le-Château, to Mossy about that.
Sorry, the train went from Berlin to Prague.
Did not arrive in
I
Prague.
did not arrive.
That's why some pieces appeared in Germany.
In the story about the crystal skulls, there's some myth if I believe 20 skulls.
No, there is a myth
Yes.
about 13
13.
skulls. Yeah.
They exist, 13.
Until now,
something have to happen if they found the last one. I don't know.
no, you must bring them together.
Yes.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, but which one is the right one? We had 6 skulls in Vienna in the exhibition, and our expert, he was worldwide the #1 expert on precious stonework. And he was working as the director of the treasure room in the most famous museum in Vienna. And he was known as the expert on precious stone and crystal works. So he checked all 6 skulls, and he said they are really handmade. But also the Mitchell Hedges skull, the most famous one, alien one, cannot be made. All this explanation. Mitchell Hedges went 1984. She went to Getty's Museum and asked if they can do a check on the skull. And they said no, there is only one real expert. His name is Rudolf Distelberger, and he is working in the Vienna Museum. So Mitchell Hedges came with her skull to Vienna, and Dr. Distelberger did a very serious check on the skull. And he was a wonderful man. He did not say, this is not handmade. He said, in my opinion, this crystal skull was made at the end of 19th century in Ida Oberstein in Germany. And if he says so, for me it's clear this skull is Germany. And what was, and there is a story now that ancient aliens debunked, and this guy did a very good research on the Mitchell Hedges story also, and they found out that this was not found in Belize. That's wrong. And as they always said, it's impossible to do this skull. The National Geographic, they went to China, to a place where they are making now the crystal skulls from small to big ones, wonderful skulls. And they ordered to do the same skull like Mitchell Hedges' skull. And they made it, exactly with the jaw taking away and everything. Because always the people said it's impossible, or in English it's ludite. It's very hard.
The same material,
the small
medical equipment.
We did also the medical instruments, all for the material check, because the owner didn't know what material it is. And ludite is very hard, but the structure is very like leaves. So it breaks very easy, and you never can make such. Also not a disc out of the ludite.
I understand.
So Dr. Distelberger went with us, and when we got the result that this and the other pieces are ludite, he said, I'm happy that I am also here because I wouldn't believe you. And then he checked it very carefully, everything. And after 2 hours he said, I cannot tell you who made it. I cannot tell you when they made it, and I cannot tell you how they made it, but the only thing I can tell you, from the same material we are not able to do the same piece today.
So crystal skulls, they are possible to make these days? But ludite?
No, you cannot.
Yes, ludite, but with crystal it's possible.
With crystal it's possible, but not ludite. This one it's impossible. And look, this is, here you can see, also in the original, it's the structure like leaves, so it's very easy to break away piece here or here. It's very easy that this breaks straight away. And you see that it's precise done, except here. And here, I think while he was working on it, this part broke away.
And then,
but still he could finalize. But on the other hand, first of all, who made it? No? Second, when? And third is, if you have here the human egg with spermia and the human egg without spermia. And here you have the spermias. That means things which you can only see with a microscope. Immediately I should say, must have been aliens. No? But for me strange is, also here the fetus in different,
phases.
Why, if they can do such a great piece, why they were showing the people with such large head and big eyes? This is the only thing which is wondering.
Aliens.
These are aliens.
I would get more how to say, sensation if I would say so. Aliens. They came here and they showed the people and everything. No, I cannot say it because we don't know. Did people exist with a bigger head?
Yes. We don't know. I had an interview with a woman from Slovenia about this matter or problem. So we don't know what is happening in the bodies of those animals.
And we eat the animals.
We eat those animals.
Yeah.
And we are doing now this for like 10 or even more than 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, at least we know we have problem with hormones.
Yeah.
You know, the young guys in Slovenia have problem with.
Yeah.
You know that.
But there were tests with mice, with mouse, with
French study.
French
study.
They died. Hey, come on.
Not just that, they degenerate.
Fully.
Could it be that
internal organs degenerate?
Could it be that they look then like this?
Why not?
Who knows?
That's true.
You have the children's sickness where they sometimes get such a head, no?
So big head, and the eyes are white. Maybe this is kind of warming. I don't know.
But one more story for the crystal skulls, because I also did not believe these stories that crystals can tell you something about the future and so on. And when we had the exhibition 2004 in November in Switzerland, one Russian shaman came, a fantastic shaman, but really great lady. And she asked if she can go with me after 9 o'clock, after closing, quiet through the exhibition with interpreter, and she will explain me many things. And she could explain me things which I knew, but in the exhibition you cannot write one artifact a long story because people never read it. So you only read the most important things, but I knew more about several artifacts and she could tell me. So I was really surprised. And then she went to the crystal skulls, and then she meditated, and she was talking in a language which I never ever heard in my life. Very strange. And then she came back, and she talked in Russian to the interpreter, and the interpreter translated to German. And there was one skull from Mongolia. And she said she received 2 informations from this skull. That one. She said, one is for you. I said, oh. She said, in the near future, you will dig out many things from the earth. But you have to leave the earth afterwards in a good condition. And the second information was, in a few days, a big wave will kill hundreds of thousands of people, and this was in November 2004. And on 26th of December 2004, the tsunami in Southeast Asia killed hundreds of thousands of people. So, I started believing there is something, but at that moment I had no idea of excavation, and I thought, what shall I excavate? I'm not an archaeologist. And now with my friend we get all the informations where the crystal, any crystal has informations, any crystal, because that's why Hewlett-Packard is now testing the chips of crystal, which are much better than any modern thing. Okay, any crystal can have something, but an interesting story of the skull from Himmler.
Well,
my friend and two of his friends, they did several tests with the skull, with light and laser and everything. And he told me, if he would have been alone, he would have thought he is now crazy. He said there were three of them, and they used special sound frequency and laser, and suddenly they saw a man on a camel riding on their direction. And they were really shocked. And then he disappeared, and then they saw a lady face sleeping and opening the eyes and looking at them like this. He said my hair was really standing like this. There are informations inside, but we don't know how to take the informations. And that would be also if you give a DVD to New Guinean indigenous.
What would they do?
Wow. Nice. Maybe a mirror. No?
For fun to do. I know. That is, that's true.
And about the writing, when I was always complained from the scientists, the unknown writing all over the world, they said, look, if they had a high civilization, if there was a high civilization, don't you think they would use some other material to give informations? No, because stone is the only material which doesn't change the surface. Look us. You remember the big soft floppies? Can you read now one?
No. You know what's going on? My old CDs with photos, just 8 years old. I could have a problem.
You see? So what are we doing? What are we doing?
Losing our history.
Losing our information.
They wrote it in stone. And they knew in 10,000 years, in 100,000 years, in 1 million years, if somebody finds these stones, maybe he finds a way to translate it. No? This is
amazing. Artifact.
Then she asked me if she can hold this in original, because she said this is just such an incredible positive energy. And then she was holding it for about 10 minutes, like this, and she was sweating. And then she came back, she gave it to me, and she said, there are so many informations that she alone is not able to take it. She would need 3 or 4 like she, and then they could try to get the information. And you know what?
A tam pisze woda.
To mi bilo reči, ne, veliko, ena njegova dobra prijateljica, bila lastnica enega od teh